If you're watching this video, chances are you've often thought that having a side hustle would be nice to have. But in 2023, there's a strong argument that it's now a must have, not just a nice to have. Stick around because I'm about to explain why, as well as helping you taking your first step to starting your very own side hustle. Hey guys, my name's Andy and welcome to the channel. If you're new around here, hit subscribe. Otherwise, let's begin. So firstly, I don't need to tell you how high inflation is right now. Not only do we hear it every day in the media, but we actually feel it every time we fill up our vehicles or do our grocery shopping. The fact is, our money just isn't worth as much as it used to be. Now, wages are increasing too, and by the way, if you've not received a raise for a while, then it's probably time to start taking action on that. But on average, wage growth isn't as high as inflation. In fact, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, in 2022, wage growth was only about half the rate of inflation, meaning in real times, most people were still worse off. So unless your income grew by more than the inflation rate during any given time, you actually took a pay cut. So having a side hustle can help make up that difference. Now, another reason to start a side hustle in 2023 is for extra job security. Now, there's this myth that being a permanent full-time employee somewhere gives you this safety. You can't suddenly be made unemployed. Well, tell that to the tens of thousands of people that just got made redundant last year from Netflix, Microsoft, HP, Amazon, and yeah, they're all tech companies, but in my opinion, the tech companies have been the bellwether over the last 1 or 2 years, like they're the first to experience the good times, they're the first to feel the bad times, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're not going to see more and more mass redundancies over the next year, but it's hard to think that that's not going to happen. But if you have a side hustle already in place, it gives you that extra layer of security. Let's say you get made redundant, right? You've already got that little bit of extra income coming in. It's already set up. It's flowing into your accounts already. So you're not going to end up all of a sudden making zero each week, right? And then what you can do is while you're job hunting or whatever, or looking for another job, doing interviews, you can just dedicate a bit more time to the side hustle. For example, if you're currently spending 1 day a week doing Uber Eats or DoorDash, then you can suddenly do 3 or 4 days a week in between job interviews and job hunting and things like that. And it may even get to the point that with all this extra time that you're then spending on your side hustle, you decide, well, hang on, there's actually potential in here for this to grow into something really meaningful. And it might get to the point where you think, do you know what, I don't even need a full-time job. That's the dream, right? So now let's talk about types of side hustle and which type might be suitable for your circumstances. But just before that, if you're finding this useful so far and you wouldn't mind hearing more videos and seeing more videos like this, then please hit subscribe. It really does make a difference, and I really appreciate every single time I get a little notification that I've got a new subscriber. So the first type of side hustle is what I call instant income. And these are the types of side hustles where you could literally start it today with very little time or money invested into the starting process, and within a few days you can be earning money in your bank account. You can see it there, good to go. You can pay your rent with it, pay your mortgage, buy your groceries, whatever you need to do with it, right? And this would include, generally you're making use of platforms to do this, so Uber Eats, DoorDash. You can do some sort of manual labor or retail work or hospitality work, picking up casual shifts on apps such as Sidekicker. If you've never heard of that, I'll put a link to a video which I did just on Sidekicker up there. I use it myself. I've used it for a few years. Whenever I have more time than money, just do a few shifts on there. Perfect. Now, another thing you should do is think about what valuable skills you already have that people might pay for. For example, if you speak a second language, you can teach people that language on websites like italki. I've used that for learning a language myself, and you pay basically people who already know the language just to help you learn it, right? If you are a coder, there are plenty of websites where you can teach people to code. If you're a graphic designer or you're pretty handy on Photoshop, you can pick up some extra freelance work on sites like Upwork. With that, just be mindful that you'll often be competing against like people who are overseas who can afford to work for lower rates. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, have a think about what skills you already have, and I am willing to bet that there will be a website out there that can help you connect to people who are looking for the exact type of work that you do. And generally, the more rare your skill set is, the more you can charge people for it. Now, the second type of side hustle is what I call delayed income. And this basically means any type of actual business that you're gonna have to start up, right? it's always going to take some time before you see some results, before you start getting any serious income coming back in. Even if it doesn't seem like it at the start, you're either going to have to go through a phase where you're learning your craft and mastering the skills. Even if you already know the skills, you've then got to learn how to like run it as an actual business, or you have to spend time building your brand up, or all of the above. So it's going to take some time. And if you ever see an ad for like a drop shipping course or something like that promises you're going to be filthy rich within 30 days, run the other way, because it's bullshit. Trust me. Just say no thank you, I don't want to pay you $997 or whatever it is for their instant 1 week course that's going to make you a millionaire. Just leave that well alone. Go get your advice from someone trustworthy. Subscribe to this channel if you want. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, go get some actual like books from reputable people and people that aren't trying to sell you stuff. There's plenty out there. Just so yeah, and people that promise you it's going to be easy, that's usually a sure way to tell that they're full of shit. And people that say it's going to be hard but worth it, they're the kind of people that you want to be listening to and following. So this includes businesses or side hustles like online stores, mobile hairdressing, landscape gardening, photography business. They're all going to take some time to see serious returns. To give you an idea of what I mean, I started an online store in 2014 on Shopify, and I thought, right, this is awesome. I'm going to be able to quit my job in 2 months. It took 2 years, right? And this YouTube channel, for example, that's basically another side hustle. I'm not expecting to see any income whatsoever for at least a year. But these are the types of businesses where they've got the most potential to actually become something that you're proud of, something fulfilling, something rewarding, and something that can make you like proper income doing something that you enjoy, right? So unless you're like literally you need the cash right now, like if you have been made redundant, for example, then you might want to look at more sort of the immediate income side hustles. But otherwise you have the luxury to be able to choose one of these delayed income side hustles and start like building something decent and proper fulfilling for the future, right? Or you can do both. Like you'd be amazed, like, so whenever I get rides with Uber drivers, I sort of just have a chat with them, say, oh, what are you up to? And that, is this your full-time gig, whatever, to make conversation. You'd be amazed how many Uber drivers are using that as a source of income while they're building a more substantial independent business in the background. And that's the stuff that gets me really excited, but I'm aware I could go off on a tangent right now, so let's call it a day for now. If you've enjoyed my ramblings on this video and you want to hear more, then please hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time. 2023 is going to be a challenging year, I'm sure of that, but as old Billy Shakespeare says, what is it? There's no such thing as good or bad, only thinking it makes it so. Something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so it's going to be challenging, but we're all going to be here working it out together. And yes, I did just quote Shakespeare, and that is literally the only Shakespeare that I know. To be or not to be? That is the question. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.